There comes a moment in every human life when silence becomes louder than noise. Not the silence of an empty room, but the silence inside the soul. That silence visits you late at night, when the phone is down, when the world stops demanding and your conscience finally speaks. It asks one question, quietly, relentlessly: is this really the life you were meant to live? Most people drown that question with distraction. They scroll, they sleep. They stay busy, they call it peace. But deep down they know you were not born to merely survive. You were not designed to repeat yesterday until time runs out. You were not created to live a small, predictable life wrapped in comfort and excuses. Yet that is exactly what society trains you to accept. Napoleon Hill warned the world nearly a century ago, the greatest tragedy is not poverty, but the fear of greatness. Fear does not arrive screaming, it arrives politely. It sounds reasonable. It tells you to wait, to be realistic, to lower your expectations so disappointment won't hurt. And slowly, without resistance, you begin shrinking your dreams. You call it maturity. You call it responsibility. But in truth, it is surrender. Look around you. Most people are not living, they are coping. They wake up tired, chase obligations they did not choose, and fall asleep hoping tomorrow will feel different. But tomorrow never changes until you do. The world does not reward potential. It rewards decision. Thomas Edison was not the smartest man alive, but he refused to quit. Henry Ford was laughed at for believing ordinary people deserved automobiles. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. History does not remember the critics, it remembers the obsessed. An obsession begins with one internal shift. You stop negotiating with your limitations. Your future is not ahead of you. It is inside you, waiting for permission. Waiting for you to stop asking for validation. Waiting for you to stop explaining your dreams to people who are comfortable staying average. Waiting for you to choose growth over comfort, even when it hurts. Most people never fail publicly. They fail privately. They abandon their vision one small compromise at a time. They say, "I'll start when things calm down. I'll try when I'm more confident. I'll go all in when the timing is right." But the timing is never right for those who are afraid of becoming powerful. Napoleon Hill called this state drifting, a life without direction, a mind without command. And drifting is dangerous because it feels safe. But hear this truth clearly: safety has never created greatness. Everything you admire in the world was built by someone who acted before they felt ready. Inside you is a force stronger than your fear, a vision bigger than your circumstances, a voice that refuses to be silenced. That voice is not weakness, it is destiny. And right now, whether you realize it or not, your future is watching. Watching every excuse you accept. Watching every chance you delay. Watching every time you choose comfort over courage. This is not motivation, this is confrontation. You are being called to wake up, to think differently, to live deliberately, to stop living small, because the life you secretly want will never be built by the habits you keep today. And this moment is where the story changes. The mind is the first battlefield. Every war you lose in life is first lost in thought. Before circumstances defeat you, beliefs do. Before people doubt you, you doubt yourself. Before failure shows up in the world, it is rehearsed quietly in the mind. Napoleon Hill called this mental programming, the unseen script running your life while you think you are in control. From childhood, you were taught what was possible, not by truth, but by limitation. By parents who meant well but feared risk. By teachers who rewarded obedience over imagination. By a system designed to produce workers, not visionaries. And slowly, invisibly, your thinking was shaped. You learned to measure yourself by comparison. To seek permission before trusting instinct. To fear mistakes more than stagnation. You were not born with these beliefs. They were installed. And anything installed can be uninstalled. Most people never question their thoughts. They assume every doubt is wisdom. Every fear is intuition. Every limitation is reality. But here is the brutal truth: your mind will lie to you to keep you comfortable. It will tell you, you're not ready, you're not special, people like you don't succeed. Be grateful for what you have, don't ask for more. Yet every breakthrough in history began with someone refusing to accept those lies. Andrew Carnegie understood this deeply. He believed thoughts are things. That what you hold consistently in your mind eventually takes form in your life. Not through magic, but through behavior. Thoughts shape beliefs. Beliefs shape decisions. Decisions shape action. Actions shape destiny. This is not philosophy, it is cause and effect. If your life feels small, it is not because you lack opportunity. It is because your thinking has been conditioned to aim low. Most people aim for comfort, not growth. Security, not purpose. Approval, not fulfillment. And so they live cautious lives, quiet lives, lives that never demand everything they are capable of becoming. But listen carefully, the mind does not change through inspiration. It changes through repetition and discipline. You must become ruthless with your inner dialogue. Every time you say, "I can't," you reinforce weakness. Every time you delay action, you train hesitation. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you strengthen fear. And fear grows fast when fed. But so does courage. Belief is not something you wait to feel. Belief is something you build through action taken before confidence arrives. Henry Ford said it clearly, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Not because thoughts are magic, but because thoughts determine effort. A person who believes will try again. A person who doubts will quit early. And the world only rewards those who stay long enough." Your mind must be reprogrammed for command, not comfort. You must stop asking, "What if it doesn't work?" and start asking, "What if I never try?" Because the most painful regret is not failure, it is potential buried alive. Napoleon Hill warned against the habit of drifting, living without a definite purpose, letting life decide for you. Drifters do not fail loudly, they fade quietly. They settle into routines that numb ambition. They call boredom stability. They confuse being busy with being alive. And years later, they wonder where time went. But non-drifters, those rare few, they decide first. They decide who they will become before the world agrees. They decide what they stand for before results show up. They decide to endure discomfort in exchange for freedom. Discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect in action. When you wake up early to work on your vision, you are telling your future, "I'm coming." When you say no to distraction, you are saying yes to destiny. When you act despite fear, you train your nervous system to obey your will. And over time, belief stops being fragile, it becomes unshakable. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. Your mind must become a place where excuses do not survive, where victimhood is not entertained, where responsibility replaces complaint. This is not positive thinking. This is command thinking. You either control your mind, or it will control you. And if you do not consciously choose your thoughts, the world will choose them for you. This moment, right now, is your invitation to reclaim authority, to stop living as a passenger in your own life, to stop shrinking your vision to fit other people's comfort. Because once the mind aligns with purpose, no external force can stop sustained action. And action, relentless, disciplined, focused action, is where the world begins to change. Clarity is the dividing line between those who drift through life and those who dominate it. Most people wake up every morning with motion, but no direction. They move fast, but they move nowhere. Busy schedules, full calendars, endless tasks, yet an empty sense of progress. Napoleon Hill called this the tragedy of effort without aim, because energy without vision is wasted force. A river without banks becomes a flood, destructive, unfocused, chaotic. But when confined, directed, disciplined, it can carve mountains. Your life works the same way. Vision is not fantasy. Vision is decision made visible. It is the moment you stop asking, "What should I do?" and start declaring, "This is who I am becoming." Every extraordinary individual in history first saw what others could not. Before Edison lit the world, he saw light where there was darkness. Before Disney built a kingdom, he saw cartoons as empires. Before Lincoln freed a nation, he saw unity where others saw division. They were not lucky, they were clear. Clarity creates confidence, not the other way around. Most people wait to feel confident before committing. But confidence comes after commitment, not before it. When you decide without escape routes, your mind reorganizes itself to support that decision. When you say, "I'll try," your brain looks for exits. When you say, "This will happen," your brain looks for solutions. That is the power of a definite purpose. A definite purpose is not vague hope. It is a burning obsession that refuses compromise. Hill wrote that every achievement begins as an idea, but only the ideas backed by desire mixed with faith ever reach form. Desire alone is not enough. Faith alone is not enough. But together, they create momentum, and momentum is dangerous. Because once you gain it, stopping becomes harder than continuing. Yet clarity demands honesty. You must confront a hard truth: you cannot chase everything. Indecision is disguised fear, and fear loves options, because options delay commitment. The moment you choose one path, you kill 1,000 others, and that scares people. But greatness is selective. Those who win at life are not more talented, they are more focused. They know what they are willing to sacrifice, and what they refuse to. Distraction is not innocent. It is the silent killer of destiny. Every scroll, every meaningless conversation, every procrastinated hour is a vote for the life you don't want. Vision demands priority. When your purpose is clear, your schedule aligns. Your habits align, your energy aligns, you stop negotiating with weakness. And this is where discipline is born, not from force, but from devotion. Discipline is simply love for your future self. It is choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term relief. It is training your impulses to respect your mission. People say discipline is hard. What's hard is regret. What's hard is waking up years later realizing you lived beneath your capacity. Those who achieve clarity no longer need motivation. They move because stopping would hurt more than continuing. They do not wait for perfect conditions, they create conditions. Because once vision is clear, action becomes inevitable. Fear does not disappear, but it loses authority. You begin to understand something powerful. Fear is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that growth is near. Every level of expansion feels like danger to the old self. And the old self will resist. It will whisper, stay where it's safe. Don't risk your reputation. Don't outgrow your circle. But vision does not negotiate with comfort. If your dreams do not scare you, they are too small. Clarity demands courage, the courage to be misunderstood, to walk alone, to fail publicly if necessary. Because no one ever changed their life by blending in. Once vision locks in, life stops being random. Even setbacks gain meaning. Even pain gains direction. Everything begins to serve the mission. And when purpose guides your steps, even slow progress feels powerful. Because you know exactly where you are going. And nothing, no criticism, no delay, no obstacle, can stop someone who knows why they move. Discipline is where vision proves it is real. Anyone can feel inspired for a moment. Anyone can dream when emotions are high. But discipline is what you do when emotion disappears. This is where most people fail, not because they lack talent, but because they lack structure. Napoleon Hill made it clear success is not an accident. It is the result of habitual, deliberate action, executed whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect in action. It is the quiet decision you make every day to honor your future over your comfort. People think discipline means restriction. In reality, discipline creates freedom. Because when you control your time, your thoughts, your habits, you stop being controlled by circumstances. The undisciplined mind reacts. The disciplined mind responds. Reaction is emotional. Response is intentional. That difference alone separates leaders from followers. Most people wake up already defeated, not by life, but by their own routines. They start the day consuming before creating, scrolling before thinking, reacting before deciding, and then they wonder why life feels out of control. Morning is the battlefield. Whoever wins the morning controls the direction of the day. That is why the greatest achievers protect their first hours fiercely. Not because they are extreme, but because they are serious. Discipline begins with small, repeatable actions that build identity. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. If your systems are weak, motivation will betray you. If your systems are strong, motivation becomes optional. Momentum is born from consistency, not intensity. A little every day beats a lot once in a while. Hill called this the law of rhythm, the principle that action, repeated daily, compounds invisibly until it becomes unstoppable. At first, progress feels slow, unrewarding, even pointless. That is the danger zone, because results lag behind effort. The average person quits in this phase, not because it doesn't work, but because results haven't shown up yet. But discipline understands timing. Discipline trusts the process even when the outcome is invisible. Think of the bamboo tree. For years, nothing appears above ground. No growth, no signs. Then suddenly it explodes upward. But the growth didn't happen overnight. It happened underground in silence. That is how success works. Those who lack discipline judge progress by what they can see. Those who master discipline judge progress by who they are becoming. Every disciplined action rewires your identity. You stop asking, can I do this? And start declaring, this is who I am. And once identity changes, behavior follows automatically. You don't force discipline anymore, you express it. You stop negotiating with excuses. Excuses sound logical, but they are emotional lies dressed as reason. I'm tired. I'll start tomorrow. It's not the right time. Discipline hears these voices and acts anyway, not angrily, but consistently. Discipline does not need drama. It needs commitment. And commitment is a decision made once and reinforced daily. The world rewards those who can delay gratification. Most people trade long-term greatness for short-term relief. They choose comfort today and pay with regret tomorrow. The disciplined choose discomfort now and collect freedom later. This is not theory. This is observable reality. Carnegie built wealth through disciplined partnership. Ford mastered production through disciplined repetition. Lincoln endured ridicule through disciplined belief. None of them were perfect. All of them were persistent. Persistence is discipline stretched over time. It is the refusal to quit. Even when progress feels humiliatingly slow, it is showing up when applause is absent. And this is where action becomes sacred. Action turns belief into evidence. You cannot think your way into success. You must act your way into it. Action clarifies thought. Action builds confidence. Action silences doubt. Every step forward weakens fear. Fear survives in imagination but dies in execution. You do not need certainty to act. You need courage. And courage is born from repetition. The more you act, the less power fear has. This is how momentum forms. Momentum is dangerous in the best way, because once movement begins, stopping feels unnatural. You no longer rely on willpower, you rely on motion. And motion creates belief, belief creates results, results reinforce identity, and identity locks in destiny. This is the cycle most people never enter. They wait to feel ready. But readiness is built through movement, not before it. You don't become disciplined by waiting. You become disciplined by doing one action today, one decision honored, one promise kept to yourself. That is how self-trust is built, and self-trust is power. Because once you trust yourself, no obstacle feels final, no delay feels fatal, no failure feels permanent. You understand something critical: setbacks are not signals to stop. They are tests of commitment. Every challenge asks the same question: how badly do you want this? Discipline answers without words. It answers with action. And when action becomes habitual, resilience is no longer a struggle, it becomes instinct. Resilience is forged in moments no one applauds. It is born when effort meets resistance, when the world pushes back and asks if you truly meant what you said. Most people interpret resistance as a warning sign. They see struggle and assume they're on the wrong path. But every meaningful vision is tested by pressure, because pressure reveals commitment. Napoleon Hill understood this truth deeply. He wrote that every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit, not in theory, in lived experience. The obstacle is not in your way. The obstacle is the way. Pain is not punishment. Pain is instruction. When things collapse, when progress stalls, when doubt grows loud, that is not life conspiring against you. That is life demanding evolution. Steel is strengthened by fire. Character is strengthened by resistance. Vision is sharpened by struggle. Most people want the reward without the refinement. They want success without sacrifice. But resilience is the bridge between desire and destiny. Look at Edison. Thousands of failures didn't weaken him, they refined him. Each attempt burned away what didn't work until only truth remained. Failure didn't slow him down, it trained his persistence. That is the difference between those who rise and those who retreat. Resilient minds don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" They ask, "What is this teaching me?" They convert frustration into focus, loss into leverage, pain into power. Adversity forces clarity, it strips away illusion. It reveals whether your vision is a fantasy or a foundation. Most people collapse under pressure because their identity was built on comfort. When comfort disappears, so does their confidence. But when your identity is built on purpose, pressure only deepens resolve. Resilience is not loud. It does not announce itself. It shows up quietly, day after day, doing the work even when the emotional reward is gone. This is where character outruns talent. Talent without resilience quits early. Vision without resilience fades under pressure. But resilience makes ordinary people unstoppable. Because resilient individuals understand one unbreakable law: nothing valuable comes without endurance. Every breakthrough has a breaking point before it. Every transformation passes through discomfort. Growth always feels like tension before it feels like expansion. The moment you want to quit is often the moment before momentum shifts, but most never stay long enough to find out. Resilience stays. It stands when motivation collapses. It continues when progress feels invisible. It persists when doubt whispers, "This isn't working." And over time, resilience builds emotional armor. You stop fearing failure because you've survived it before. You stop fearing judgment because you've outgrown it. You stop fearing delay because you understand timing. You realize something profound: setbacks do not define direction, response does. Resilience teaches you how to bend without breaking, how to absorb impact without losing form. It is adaptability anchored in belief. Those who last the longest do not avoid hardship, they learn how to use it. They extract wisdom from pain. They harvest strength from struggle. And eventually something shifts. What once threatened you now strengthens you. What once intimidated you now trains you. What once delayed you now refines you. Resilience does not eliminate hardship. It transforms your relationship with it. And when hardship no longer scares you, you become dangerous to limitations. Because nothing outside you can stop what is fully decided within you. Your vision survives storms because storms build the vessel strong enough to carry it. This is how endurance becomes dominance. This is how pain becomes preparation. This is how the unbreakable are made. Learning is the quiet force that keeps vision alive when the noise fades. A mind that stops learning begins to shrink, even if the body keeps moving forward. History never crowns the stagnant. Carnegie studied people before he built empires. Lincoln read by candlelight while others slept. Ford failed forward by learning faster than his mistakes could slow him. Growth was never accidental, it was intentional. When curiosity dies, progress follows it to the grave. The world belongs to those who study it deeply, who refine their thinking, who sharpen their perception while others repeat yesterday's habits. Learning is not about collecting information, it is about transforming identity. Every new idea stretches the mind, and once stretched, it never returns to its former size. A growth-oriented mind does not fear being wrong. It fears staying the same. Discomfort becomes a classroom. Criticism becomes data. Failure becomes feedback. This is how vision evolves without losing direction. This is how purpose matures instead of hardening into ego. Those who keep learning stay adaptable. Those who stay adaptable stay relevant. And those who stay relevant shape the future instead of chasing it. Your vision demands expansion. Your future demands understanding. And learning is the discipline that makes both inevitable. Adaptability is the proof that your vision is alive, not rigid. The future does not reward those who cling to old maps while the terrain changes beneath their feet. It honors the minds that bend without breaking, that adjust their sails without losing their destination. Darwin was right, survival never belonged to the strongest, but to the most responsive. Vision is not stubbornness. Vision is intelligence in motion. Edison didn't fail 10,000 times, he refined his direction 10,000 times. Disney was fired for lacking imagination, yet he adapted his dream until the world caught up. They didn't betray their vision, they evolved its expression. Rigidity kills greatness. Flexibility fuels it. When circumstances shift, the unprepared panic. But the visionary recalibrates. They ask better questions. They change tactics, not purpose. They understand that resistance is not a wall, it is a signal. Adaptability turns obstacles into instruments. It allows you to stay calm in chaos, clear in confusion, and decisive when others freeze. The future is not fixed. It responds to those willing to move with it, without ever losing sight of who they are becoming. Resilience is the silent agreement you make with life that no blow will be final. Every great vision is tested, not once but relentlessly. Doubt will arrive disguised as logic. Fatigue will whisper that rest should become retreat. Failure will knock not to destroy you, but to measure your resolve. And in those moments, resilience becomes the difference between those who fade and those who forge forward. Lincoln lost elections, businesses, and loved ones before he ever led a nation. Ford went bankrupt multiple times before mobility became freedom. They were not immune to pain. They were trained by it. Resilience is not emotional numbness. It is emotional mastery. It is the ability to feel the weight of the moment without letting it crush your spine. To bend, absorb, recover, and rise stronger. Pain is not punishment, it is preparation. Every setback is a classroom. Every loss is instruction. The unshakable visionary understands this truth. What you survive rewires you. What you endure sharpens you. What you refuse to quit becomes your authority. Resilience transforms wounds into wisdom and wisdom into power. Learning is the quiet force that keeps the vision alive when the world tries to make it stale. The moment you believe you already know enough, growth begins to decay. Every visionary who lasted understood that mastery is never owned. It is rented, and the rent is due every single day. Edison treated failure as feedback. Carnegie treated ignorance as an invitation. They studied people, patterns, and principles with the humility of beginners and the hunger of conquerors. An unshakable vision feeds on learning. You listen more than you speak. You observe more than you react. You read minds, markets, moments. You sharpen your thinking because your thoughts determine the ceiling of your life. When circumstances shift, you don't panic because learning has trained you to evolve. Adaptability is intelligence in motion. The world will change faster than comfort allows. Systems will break, old rules will collapse. But the learner stays ahead not because they predict the future, but because they prepare for it. Vision is not rigid, it is rooted. Flexible enough to adjust, strong enough not to abandon its purpose. This is how vision survives time and outgrows limitation. Gratitude. It is the invisible engine that fuels unshakable vision. The greats, Lincoln, Ford, Disney, never lost sight of the blessing in the struggle. Gratitude transforms hardship into homework. It turns rejection into refinement. Every challenge becomes a lesson, every setback a guidepost. When you are grateful for the fight becomes a servant, not a master. Resilience is built in the crucible of repeated failure. Success is not a straight path. It is jagged, rocky, and relentless. Every time you fall, you either choose bitterness or brilliance. The world rewards brilliance, the courage to stand up one more time than you fell. Napoleon Hill knew it. Persistence is the bridge between desire and reality. Desire without persistence is nothing more than a whisper. Persistence fortified by resilience becomes an unbreakable roar. Now, combine vision, discipline, action, adaptability, learning, gratitude, and resilience, each element a pillar. Together, they form the architecture of destiny. This is not theory. This is proof in the lives of those who refuse to settle, refuse to bend, refuse to give the world anything less than their unshakable commitment to themselves. Your inner world is the battlefield. Win it, master it, and the outer world will inevitably follow. Now, feel this: every limitation you've ever believed about yourself was never real. It was borrowed, inherited, imagined. Every fear, every doubt, every voice that whispered, "You cannot," was the world testing your courage. And courage is not the absence of fear, it is action despite it. The world does not reward the timid, the distracted, the doubtful. It rewards the relentless, the unshakable, the unstoppable. Close your eyes and see the life you were meant to live. Not the life that others prescribed, not the life that fear dictated, but your vision, burning brighter than any obstacle. That vision is sacred. Guard it, feed it. Act on it with ferocious determination. Each day, each hour, each decision must move you closer to that vision. This is how the extraordinary are made, how legends are born. And remember, your thoughts are the soil of your reality. Nurture the right ones. Destroy the weeds of negativity. Water the seeds of purpose, belief, and action. When you master your mind, you master your destiny. The power to create, to conquer, to transform has always been yours. Stand up, step forward. Turn pain into purpose and purpose into power. Your future is waiting and it bends only to those who refuse to bow. This is your moment. Own it. Stand up, step forward, turn pain into purpose and purpose into power. Your future is waiting and it bends only to those who refuse to bow. This is your moment. Own it. And if this message resonated with you, if you felt that spark inside ignite, make sure you don't just let it fade. Join our journey. Subscribe to this channel and be part of a community of thinkers, doers, and visionaries who refuse to settle for less. Every video, every story, every lesson we share is designed to empower you to think bigger, act bolder, and live the life you were born to create. Click subscribe now and let's build your unstoppable future together.